Hello, adventurers. Today is Sunday. It's around 5:45 p.m. I have some free time on my hands after a long day, and I'm going to do a D&D paint and chat. Today, I want to focus on painting some kobolds. Kobolds are these little dragon type of creatures that work for the big dragons. And what's interesting about kobolds is they come in many different colors. There's many different colored dragons. So they usually follow the suit of the colored dragons. White, black, red, blue, and green. So we'll hit each one with a contrast paint, and we'll take a look at that and see what they look like. And then we will also take a look at the arcane subclasses from Unearthed Arcana, which just came up. I wanted to see this. One of my players is playing a ranger, and I wonder if some of the arcane archer subclass effects might fit with the ranger. I know I want to see with the ranger specifically, but the fighter here has an arcane archer. I think you can think about Hawkeye. Deploy magical effects through enchanted ammunition. We have a little contrast apothecary white here, which will hit. Arcane archers studies unique type of elven archery. That weave magic attacks to produce supernatural effects. This is an interesting color, white. I think I like it. The first arcane archers stood watch over communities. They use magical infused arrows to defeat invaders and monsters. Over the centuries, other species have learned to become arcane archers. So it looks like arcane archers have a curving shot, magical ammunition, an ever-ready shot, an arcane burst, and a masterful shot. I'm actually pretty surprised just reading this, I'm surprised this is a fighter ability. This sounds much more like a ranger ability. It sounds just like what my ranger needs. Because my ranger feels like he only needs Hunter's Mark, or he only has Hunter's Mark, and feels Hunter's Mark isn't that effective. So this was just updated. The Arcane Archer lore. They know Druidcraft and the Prestidigitation cantrip. They have Arcane and Nature skills. At level 3, they gain the subclass feature of Arcane Shot. You learn 2 Arcane Shot options. There must be a list. Use your intelligence modifier. Number of uses equal to your intelligence modifier plus your level, kind of. Arcane die, so it's probably going to be a D6, a D8. If you're just joining us, I'm painting kobolds, and these kobolds are going to be based on each color of the dragon. And we're also taking the time to talk about the Arcane Archer as I shoot. This is a fighter subclass. Saving throw is DC 8 plus your intelligence. That's pretty standard. Let's see what type of shots these guys can get. Curving shot. You learn how to curve an arrow or curve your shot to make an attack roll towards a new target. So the shot can ricochet with a bonus action. Okay. The new target must be within 60 feet. All right, so basically one shot is going to bounce into another guy as a bonus action. Magical ammunition at level 7. You learn to imbibe your ammunition with the following abilities. Darkening shot. You can create a 15-foot darkness. Let's go over here so you guys can see that. Unlocking shot. A magical burst fills a 15-foot emanation. A loud knock audible 300 feet away. It can open any mundane lock that is stuck or barred. So you could shoot this thing and you could open up a chest or set off a trap being 300 feet away. It takes away the need, looks like, for a thief to open stuff. This is white. Let's see if we can see this here. This is a white kobold. Let's put him down. And that is Apothecary White. Going to move on to a black contrast. Vine shot. 60-foot vine grows from ammunition. Other creatures can see it. They wither after 10 minutes. I like that. So you can shoot a shot. Again, why is this not under Ranger? Ever ready shot. When you roll initiative, you can regain 1 you can regain 1 expended arcane shot. So level 10. Level 10 is pretty high. I don't know if my characters will ever make it to level 10 or if most adventures go to level 10. I am super interested in levels 4 to 8. I feel like levels 4 to 8 is a prime area to play Dungeons and Dragons. Level 4 being my favorite. Level 4, you have a decent amount of hit points, but it's still dangerous. You have your subclass and you have a level 4 feat. You can start leveling up that, but you don't have multi-attack. As soon as you have multi-attack at level 5, for any class in D&D, it really changes the power level. Arcane Burst at level 15. Again, we're using Black Temporal's Contrast over here. Arcane Burst level 15, pushing somebody away. Masterful Shot at level 18. Okay, this is what I really want to see. What are our Arcane Shot options for the fighter? Banishing Shot. Your ammunition temporarily sequesters your target to a harmless demi-plane. Wow, that's pretty powerful. It takes psychic damage equal to one of your arcane dice. Must see charisma saving throw. Banished creatures are incapacitated with a speed of 0. So you can shoot a creature and send him to another plane. Wow. Beguiling Shot. Your ammunition beguiles your target. It takes psychic damage equal to 2 rolls of your arcane dice, plus a wisdom saving throw. Charm condition ends if it's attacked. I think that's too powerful. I think charming should be saved for wizards and other creatures. Thank you for the likes. Hello, Cami. Thank you for joining us. We talk about Dungeons and Dragons on our channel. We just did an awesome interview with Rogue Game Masters. They explain how to get paid DM work at bars in your local tavern. So check that interview out that we just had today. And you can find these 3D printed miniatures on our Etsy shop. Bursting Shot. You imbibe your ammunition with explosive energy. Immediately after you deal damage, everyone within 10 feet takes force damage equal to 2 rolls of your arcane dice shot. Okay, so you shoot an arrow and it explodes. I like this. It makes sense. Why is this not a ranger thing? Enfeebling Shot. Your ammunition saps your target's strength. The creature takes additional necrotic damage equal to 2 rolls. I see a theme here. 2 rolls. You gain the poison condition. And when a target's poison attacks, they lose their attack roll equal to your arcane dice. So they're hard to hit. Okay, this would be a kobold with the black contrast paint. Black Templars. So I like this. Looks black. Contrast looks good. So we have a white painted kobold somewhere and a black painted kobold. We're going to move on to our red dragon kobold with contrast. Blood Angel's red. Enfeebling Shot saps the strength. We just talked about that poison. Grasping Shot. The ammunition creates a clutching bramble around your target. The creature takes a hit, additional slashing damage. Let's go over here. Additional slashing damage equal to 1 roll of your arcane dice and must make a strength saving throw or be restrained for 1 minute. So you can slow somebody down. The restrained condition will give them a movement of 0, right? The restrained condition. The target can then take a strength check against your shot to end the restrained condition. Okay, so we can try to bust out of it. This arrow shoots at him. Magical brambles appear, and they restrain the target. I do like this. Well, this is that red enough for me. Piercing Shot. You give your ammunition an ethereal quality. You don't make an attack roll. Instead, the ammunition shoots forward a 30-foot line, 1 foot wide, originating from the source. So if you have a miniature on the table, use it tactically. If it's a theater of the mind, you're going to kind of have to figure out who is in front of you. The line ignores cover as the ammunition phases through solid objects. Each creature in the line must take a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes damage as if it were hit, plus piercing damage. You get 2 rolls of your arcane dice. Okay. Seeking Shot. Your ammunition can seek out a target. When you use this option, you don't make an attack roll. Instead, you choose 1 creature you can see within the last minute, 10 rounds. The ammunition flies towards that creature, moving around corners, if necessary, ignoring half and 3/4 cover. If the target within the weapon's long range, the target must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, it takes damage as if it were hit, plus Additional force damage equal to 2 rolls of your arcane dice shot, and you learn the target's current location. So if you saw the creature and it hides, maybe turns invisible or runs away, you're going to be able to find it, track it, and know its location. Again, all this stuff is so good for a ranger. I think my ranger might end up changing his class to an arcane archer fighter. Although he'd like having his wolf. Dennis, I'm talking about you if you're watching. Shadow shot. Your ammunition occludes the foe's vision with shadows. They take psychic damage, one roll of your arcane dice, so a little less damage than the other stuff. But it must make a wisdom saving throw or be blinded. Blinded is pretty powerful. If a creature's hitting you well, you'll be able to they'll have disadvantage on the attack rolls against you. And that disadvantage dice on an attacking creature is pretty powerful. It'll slow them down a lot. So that's it. I don't see an arcane. Oh, here we go. Let's look right here. Your arcane shot changes when you reach certain levels. An arcane dice is going to be D6. And then it's going to be D8 at level 10, D10 at level 15, D12 at level 18. I like these different shots. We're going to skip Monk right now, and I want to go right to Ranger, because I definitely want to compare. We have Wizard, Necromancer Wizard. We have Transmuter. A lot of Wizard subclasses here. I know. Oh, so we don't have a Ranger. We do not have a Ranger in the Unauthored Arcana update. So we will do Monk. We have a monk in our group named Kumo. He has some magical tattoos, and those tattoos let him do some fire damage, I believe, and also have a 15-foot reach. Now, Unauthored Arcana is codifying the fact that monks can have magical tattoos. What do you think guys think of the red? So here's our guys so far. Here's our multicolored dragon kobolds. We have the white dragon kobold, the black dragon kobold, the red dragon kobold. Brown Pride MX. Thank you, Brown. We're talking about Unauthored Arcana, and we're doing some painting. We're using contrast paints. And what's nice about this is we'll see each color, how the contrast paints work. I've seen a version of this done where they'll take every single contrast paint and use it, and you'll really be able to see what each one looks like laid out in front of you, which is always fun. I need to make one of these for a convention so people can see what contrast paints looks like. So thank you for mentioning that. Well, thank you for saying good painting, because that made me think now. So look at this blue. Please subscribe. We're trying to grow our channel. Every subscription counts. Every subscription is appreciated. Tattooed Warrior Monk. Enhance martial arts with magical tattoos. Drawing from the body markings traditions across the multiverse, tattooed warriors can use arcane power to imbibe their magical tattoos. These monks gain tattoos as they grow in martial prowess and insight. Tattooed warriors can reshape tattoos for a suite of physical and magical effects. There are 3 main subclasses: Beast, Celestial, Nature, and Monster tattoos. Magical tattoos. At level 3, you gain a subclass. Let's see. Tattoos appear in the body whenever you wish. Damage or injury doesn't impair your magical tattoo's ability to function. A magical tattoo could like a brand, a scarification, a birthmark, a pattern of scales, or any other cosmetic alteration. What would your magical tattoos look like? I would have, I think, a bunch of classic dragons and really warrior type of stuff, or maybe even some Viking symbols I like. But other people might use the Hawaiian tattoos, or maybe it would just be different color, geometric shapes or matrices. I'm not sure. It's really whatever you want your character to look like. You liking the blue so far? A tattoo's effect requires a saving throw, DC 8 plus the wisdom modifier plus proficiency bonus. That's an ongoing theme. It's always wisdom modifier plus proficiency bonus, or whatever modifier based on your level. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can reshape one of your magical tattoos, change into a different option. At level 3, you have the Beast option. You gain 2 animal tattoos. Choose 2 tattoos from the following list. Bat. You know Dancing Light's cantrip. You also gain blind sight with a range of 10 feet. A blind sight is kind of big, especially if you're a fighting class. If something turns invisible or is hiding, you normally can't see it, disadvantage, or maybe not even be able to attack it. Most of your attacks are going to be within 5 or 10 foot if you have a reach. So blind sight at 10 feet is just fine. Blue dragon. And let's go on to the green dragon tattoo. So we're going to use Warp, Light, and Contrast for our last kobold to represent green. We are talking about Unearthed Arcana. And these are the different magical tattoos that you can get as a monk. Let's see. Sorry, got to go here. Butterfly, you know the light cantrip. When you make a high jump, you can use your dexterity modifier instead of your strength to jump high. Okay, so that's the butterfly tattoo for the monk. Crane, you know the guidance cantrip. That's actually kind of big. Guidance is now a touch level spell. So you'll be able to cast guidance on yourself, and you'll be able to basically have that available. When you miss a creature with an attack granted by a flurry of blows, you have advantage on your next attack roll before ending the next turn. So your current round might miss, but then you'll be able to have advantage on your next attack. Oh, look at that, broke a staff. I was trying to clean off these little supports, but I just broke a staff. But that's okay. This is just a practice piece. Horse, you know the message. So if you have the horse tattoo, you know the message cantrip. And when you spend 1 focus point to use Step of the Wind, you increase your movement by 10 feet. So that gets our monk around. The tortoise tattoo, you know the Spare the Dying cantrip. So if somebody drops, you'll be able to heal them. You can spend 1 focus point to increase your AC by 1 when you use Patient Defense. So not super powerful, but these are all level 3 also. This monk in the Unearthed Arcana will get a level 6, a Celestial Tattoo. You gain an additional magical tattoo depicting a celestial phenomenon. There are 3 celestial phenomenons. Comet, when you take the search action, you expend 1 focus point. You can roll your martial arts die and add a number to the wisdom check. So you get martial arts die. Oh, you get martial arts die as a monk. When you roll the search action, so search is investigation, maybe perception. So you'll be able to find stuff easier. That's I guess good utility. It's handy. Eclipse. When you take the hide action, you can spend 1 focus point to roll martial arts dice and add a number to a stealth check. I like that. It's as if you're summoning the darkness or the moon and you're disappearing into the night. This is a cool subclass. Can you double subclass? Does anybody know that? If I was a monk with 1 subclass, can I take a second subclass? I do a level dip? I don't know. I have to look into that. I mean, as a dungeon master, you could always let your characters take these tattoos or find them as part of an adventure or maybe a magic item. I do like the... No! The dead professor's on, my buddy. He says, no, you cannot do that. That's just silly. That's just silly. Okay, let's take a little break here. We're going to look at our kobolds. So, these are our contrast paints. And these are the different color kobolds you would find. Now, according to Monster Manual, there are chromatic kobolds, but mostly you're going to find kobolds of a color working with their draconian masters. We have white, black, red, blue, and green. So these are the basic color kobolds you would have. I'm going to continue to paint and read. I'm working on many, many different projects. Depends what I feel like. I think I might take some of that white contrast and put it on this vampire's hair. So let's do that. Since I have it out, right? I have Citadel white contrast. Yeah, Professor. Yeah, they do look like Skittles. Can you taste the rainbow? Can you taste the rainbow? Let's go back to the Celestial Tattoo over here. Sunbird. When you take the study action, you can spend 1 focus point to reroll your martial arts die and add that to your intelligence check. So study. Why would you study? You'll study a creature. And I have a list, which is in the Dungeon Master's Guide. For example, if there's a supernatural creature, you can take the study action and make a check, an Arcana check. And that would let you know maybe the weaknesses of a monster or any resistances. I say to my players, what's a question you would like to know about this monster? For example, nature would be used for wilderness creatures. So something in nature, if you're going to use that check, you'll add that. Speaking of nature, level 11, we have the nature tattoo. Can we focus there? I'll drop that down so we can see. You gain an additional magical tattoo at level 11, depicting a natural feature. Sea Storm. You gain resistance to one of the following types of damage: cold, lightning, or thunder. Whenever you finish a long or short rest, you can use your uncanny metabolism feature. You can change this choice. Resistance to cold, great. Resistance to lightning, good. A couple creatures, especially fighting that blue dragon. Resistance to thunder, I mean, it's out there. We haven't come across too much thunder. Although I was playing with DM Evanson and all his monks had Thunder Step and Thunder Wave, and it was really, really annoying. Volcano. You gain resistance to one of the following types: acid, fire, poison. Okay, so I think the fire and the cold are the two probably most useful ones. And I can see why you only gain one tattoo and you need a rest to change it. So they don't want you to have the ability to be resistant to fire and poison at the same time. Let's see. I have this vampire here too. Not sure what I want to do with him. I hit him with a different type of red. I guess the cloak will be purple. I feel like cloak will purple. I try to use contrast paints a lot. It's just kind of for speed. So this is a solid purple. But what I'll do is first hit that with a contrast purple, and then I'll highlight it with a regular purple. Let's see what else is going on here. Monster tattoos. At level 17, and again, I don't know how many people are playing to level 17. I played a level, maybe level 10 a lot of times. Our current campaign, I am hoping going all the way to level 20, staying within the world of Erendor and completing my wizard's quest of finding a wish spell and saving his family. But, I mean, we expect that to take over a year to play. We're level 6 now. Monster tattoo. At level 17, you gain a monster tattoo, choosing from the following. Looks like we have a couple. We have a couple good ones, some of the classics. Beholder. At the start of your turn, you can expend a focus point to gain fly equal to your speed for 10 minutes. While you have the fly speed, you can hover. So hover and fly. Additionally, as a magic action, you can spend one focus point to fire 4 rays from your eyes. Four fire rays from your eyes. You can fire that one target within 120 feet, make a ranged attack for each ray. So 4 rays, it's a lot. Wisdom is the spellcasting ability. On a hit, you deal force damage equal to a roll of your martial die plus your wisdom modifier. So level 17, you're probably up to D12. So it's 4d12 damage plus your wisdom modifier. So you're blasting stuff. Chromatic Dragon. When you make an attack action, you can spend one focus point to replace one of your attacks. So you gain an exhalation of magical energy. So basically you're breathing magical dragon fire or magical dragon breath. And you can make that acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. There's our 4 dragon types we're talking about. Black for acid, white for cold, red for fire, blue for lightning, and green for poison. Unless I got that backwards, I'm not sure. Each creature in that area makes a dex saving throw, and a fail. They take damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial die. That's going to be D12, so it's going to be 2D12. And half damage on a save. So pretty standard, almost like taking a fireball. It's those cone-shaped weapons, those breath weapons, those fireballs, those template weapons are always a half dex. Your thieves will be able to avoid it completely if they can make their dex. They take half and then sometimes completely avoid the damage. Displacer Beast. You expend a focus point to use Flurry of Blows or Step of the Wind, and using that point, you can cast Mirror Image as part of a bonus action. So Mirror Image is an awesome spell, highly recommended. You should pick it up if available. It's going to create a couple images that'll be hit before you and can save you a lot of pain and suffering. Troll. At the start of each of your turns, you regain hit points equal to 5 plus your wisdom modifier. If you're bloodied, have at least 1 hit point. Any severed body parts regrow if you finish a long or short rest. Hey, I like the troll tattoo. I think the troll tattoo is awesome. Conjurer. Let me see if they have a diviner wizard, enchanter, necromancer. Oh, you know what? I just realized that diviner is already in the player's handbook. So these are all subclasses that they never touched upon. So let's touch upon them as I find something else to paint. Do I paint the beer holder? He has many eyes and he drinks beer and he smells like Mitch. I think I'm going to save him. I have no ideas what color I want to paint him. I think I'm going to work on my pumpkin golem. I'm going to hit him with some washes of nun oil to kind of get the crevices. We get a big brush out because the nun oil is very messy. As we talk about the conjurer, step across space and call creatures forth from the air, from beyond. You consider distance and matter flexible guidelines rather than physical laws. Conjurers harness the magic that moves creatures instantly through space and summon creatures to fight on their behalf. Where can I buy the beer holder? Oh my God. Okay, let's take a look at the beer holder. Hello there. We have, hello there. If you look at YouTube, the links, we have a links, hit the links, go to the Etsy store. He is not on the Etsy store. I did him as a test print, but if you want to just send me a message on there, we will be able to make one for you and print it up, or I could send you this one. He's already primed. I got a little paint on him, but I could reprime him. I could send him painted and primed already. Sorry, I could send him already primed on the base. If you want, send me a message on Dark Alchemy Limited. That's Dark Alchemy Ltd. The link on our Etsy store, or send me a message on Instagram, or send me a message on YouTube. I also have the stat card for him. I can send you that PDF file. Somebody made the stats for him, and it's pretty funny. Or just Google beer holder. You'll be able to find the stats for him online. It's a funny creature. It's a silly creature. It's not for serious D&D, but you definitely have some fun with him. This one too is the Pumpkin King. Why, thank you. I like my figures too. I'm a big nerd. I like to paint. This is the Pumpkin King, and we also have a Pumpkin Golem. So you can see here. I'll try to get a good view of him. There's a tombstone. Oh, sorry. Here's the face. Here's the face of the pumpkin. There's a tombstone that says "Rest in Peace." Lots of little pumpkins. Lots of detail in this. He's got a shovel, and great for Halloween. So this is something we don't have up yet either. But if you message me, we'll get it to you. We'll figure it out. Please subscribe. We're trying to grow our channel. Any subscriptions are greatly, greatly appreciated, and we love you for it. Thank you for joining us tonight on a Sunday night. I went out today, had some time to paint, and I'm not the greatest painter, but I'm having fun with it. Okay, let's go back to the Conjurer. This is the Wizard subclass. Once again, these subclasses all kind of happen at level 3, right? So, you get to level 3, you pick a subclass, and that's going to be your specialization. My Wizard is a Diviner, so I have a specialization where I roll these extra dice each day. But let's talk about the Conjurer. Conjurer. Here's the main updates. Transportation, summons. Okay, benign transportation. As a bonus action, you teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Or you can choose a space within that range occupied by a medium or smaller creature and swap with them. So you could move or you could swap. That might be fun for if you had a real big bad guy. You swap spots with him. Just trying to fill this in with the oil. Probably better off using paint, but I'm going to fill that and let that dry face down. Wait a second. Bear with me, guys. Here I'm trying to fill this up with nun oil. I would cover the world with. I'm just going to let that dry if you don't mind. All right. I'm going to put that down off camera. And then we're going to give the pumpkin golem a little wash here. Oh my God, there's a skeleton inside there. You can fuse this feature equal to number of intelligence. Okay, conjuration savant. So all the magic users gain a savant skill. That means they're a specialist in their chosen profession. Choose 2 wizard spells from the conjuration school. That's pretty standard. I chose 2 diviner spells, and add them to your spell book for free. So you always have access to these spells. So you choose 2 conjuration spells that you always want to have access to, and then you don't have to worry about moving them in and out. You'll always have access to those 2 conjuration spells. In addition, whenever you gain access to a new spell, you can add a conjuration spell to your book for free. So every couple of levels, you're going to get an extra free conjuration spell for a conjuration savant. All the wizard classes have the savant ability within their own school of magic. So that's important to remember. Once again, I'm a diviner, and I took identify and comprehend languages. I always want to identify available if I have to know what that magic item is, very quickly. And I always have comprehend languages in case I come across a creature in a situation where I want to know what they're saying. But I normally wouldn't want to have that memorized. You only can memorize so many spells, and to have that available is very handy. Distance transportation. You increase the range of your benign transportation feature 60 feet. Okay, that's the one where you can just teleport 60 feet, or you can swap with a creature within 60 feet. Let's see. Continuing on, level 6, durable summons. I haven't heard what this is. When you cast a conjuration spell to summon a creature using a spell slot, that creature gains temporary hit points equal to twice your wizard level when it first appears. While it has these temporary hit points, the creature has resistance to every type of damage except force, necrotic, psychic, and radiant. Okay, so you summon something, and you pump up its power, and you pump up its hit points and resistances. That's pretty cool. I guess it represents that you're just so in tune with summoning. Oh my God, that's the guy's legs on the bottom. That is nuts. It's a whole skeleton just hanging out. Oh, I feel so bad for him. This is an amazing model. Sometimes after you print it, you really don't see what the details are until you hit it with a wash. And then I'll go back over and I'll do the highlights and kind of paint the oranges. I'll paint the tombstone gray. I'm just going to touch this up and just let it sit face up for a while. Probably going to hit the vampire. Because why am I in the mood to paint horror stuff? Is Halloween coming up? Is it pumpkin season? Level 10 for our conjuration savants. Taking damage can't break your concentration on conjuration spells. That is awesome. You summon something, you have to maintain concentration, and some bad guy comes along and hits you in the big toe, and all of a sudden your creature disappears, and then you're very sad because you need that creature to fight for you. That's awesome. Level 14, again, I don't know how many people are getting up to level 14. If you are getting up to level 14, please chime in. I'd love to hear about that. Please subscribe to our channel. We much appreciate you jumping in and subscribing. Level 14, Splintered Summons. When you cast Summon Aberration, Summon Construct, Summon Dragon, Summon Elemental, or Summon Fey using a spell slot, you can modify the spell to summon 2 creatures with the spell instead of 1. Okay, so that's huge. That is huge. Each creature is the same kind, uses the same stat block, manifests in a different unoccupied space of your choice within the spell's range. But, okay, here you go. The creature's hit points are halved. So you have 2 creatures, but they each have half the hit points. So the total hit point value is the same. Do you think that it's worth it to have 2 creatures instead of 1? I think it is. It's more action economy. That creature might have 2 attacks, and now you can have 4 attacks. It doesn't say that the stats are changed. It doesn't say that the splintering summons reduces the attack ability of those creatures. So they're still going to be able to maybe have, if you have 2 dragons, that's 2 breath weapons instead of 1, and that's big. When you finish this feature, you have to finish a long rest, and you can also restore it by burning a level 5 spell slot. So you could be able to do that a couple times. Okay, that's it, guys. That's it for the conjuration. We're now moving on to, I got some stuff on my screen here. Moving on to the enchanter. An enchanter enhances and beguiles others. What color would her fan be? I guess her fan would match the cloak, right? Let's do a purple fan there, since I got the purple contrast out. Okay, enchanter, wizard, entrance and beguile others. Your magic clouds and captivates the minds. Some enchanters use their ability to encourage peace and soften cruelty, while others use the mind-altering magic for selfish needs. Many enchanters fall somewhere in between. Design notes upgraded. So from the 2014, we're looking specifically at hypnotic presence, split enchantment, instinctive charm, and alter memories. Those are kind of the key features we're looking at. At level 3, this is when our subclass for the enchanter starts. We get enchanting conservationalist. Yeah, you gain proficiency in one of the following skills: deception, intimidation, or persuasion. So if you didn't have it, you're going to be able to persuade better, intimidate better, or deceive better. In addition, when you make the ability check, you gain a bonus equal to an intelligent modifier. So you're gaining proficiency in it, and you're also gaining maybe, if you have an 18 intelligence plus 4. So that is pretty cool. That's pretty high. Enchantment savants. Okay, we talked about the savants before. Savant, every class is going to get. You're going to pick 2 level 2 spells, add them to the spellbook for free. They're always going to be prepared. And then as you increase in level, you're going to gain some more abilities. This lady here is some sort of ghostly spirit. I'm not sure if I want to do her in greens or blacks. I'm going to put her off to the side. I'm not really sure what I want to do with her. Hypnotic presence at level 3. Your charming words and enchanting gaze can enthrall other creatures. You can see within 10 feet. If the target can see or hear you, must succeed a wisdom saving throw against your DC. You have the charm condition for 1 minute or until it ends. If it's more than 10 feet away and the target can either see or hear you, or the target takes damage. Okay, so you're gaining charm. Level 6, split enchantment. When you cast an enchantment spell, such as Charm Person, that can be cast with a high level slot in it. You can target an additional creature, increase the spell's effective level by 1. Number of times you can intelligence. Or you can start charming a bunch of people. You walk in as a king and queen, and you're like, uh-oh, am I going to be able to charm both of them? The answer is yes. You'll be able to charm both of those creatures. I started painting bullywugs. I must have missed one. I have a bunch of bullywugs here. And I painted their armor flesh color. So a bullywug in the forest, I think, if he came across some humans, he'd probably be using human flesh in order to. It's a mimic. What color would mimic fur be? I'm not sure. Maybe a brown. Let's see if I have a brown here. Level 10, Instinctive Charm. When a creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll, you can take a reaction to force attack to make a wisdom saving throw. On a fail, he misses. So you get targeted by an attack, and then you charm him. Level 14, Alter Memories. You can reliably enchant creatures to alter their memories. You always have the modified memory skill prepared. When you cast a spell, you can target a second creature within range. Alter Memories is pretty powerful. We just got hit with some Alter Memory spells, and it really affected our game. Also painting imps up. So we have a bunch of these guys. We did Mud Memphis recently. The Mud Memphis, we just kind of painted a brown. We're getting through the creatures, guys. Necromancer. So because we're doing Necromancer, let me grab some. Well, they're not necromantic, but they are troll arms. I've been needing to paint these troll arms. And we have a troll. So I'll just match the yellow to the troll arms. Let me grab all my arms and let me find the yellow, and then we will talk about the necromancer. Humans don't make very good armor. I don't know. I think maybe if you tanned and leathered the human skin and layered it, it might. Originally, we painted the troll with Nazreg yellow. That's the Citadel color. We'll take a look at Nazreg yellow. Skin is too thin. Yeah, that's why you need like 20, 30 layers of it tanned. I don't know. I don't know much about tanning, so I will defer to the professor's expertise. This is a man who makes his own chainmail armor and probably has tanned some leather in his day, I'm sure. But the bullywugs don't know that. They feel like it works. Okay, guys, we're talking about the necromancer. This is from Unearthed Arcana as I paint and read to you on this Sunday afternoon. Wow, I tell you, I don't know if you can see it, but the detail on this, can't get it, maybe right there. You can see a circle there. That's the actual cut of the bone. Necromancer, command the powers of death and undeath. You explore the cosmic forces of life, death, and undeath. As a necromancer, you learn to manipulate the energy that animates all creatures. As you progress, you learn to use magic to drain the life force of creatures and transform its vital energy into magical power. Many see necromancers as menacing or villainous, but not all necromancers are evil. Guys, I want that to stick with you. Not all necromancers are evil. Sometimes necromancy can be used for good. There are plenty of healing spells that will save your party members and help you that are considered necromancy in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. And even though Animate Dead, we have the ongoing issue that the skeletons might, kind of wander off and kill people. Skeletons are still good at digging, and who wants to do all that manual labor? I mean, we just have to be able to have some rules in place in order to protect the humans and let's summon those skeletons and zombies, especially around the holidays. Nevertheless, the manipulation of life and death is considered taboo in many cases. Designer notes, so they adjusted the Necromancer spellbook that now lets you use Find Familiar to summon a skeleton or zombie. Wow, okay, that's cool. So we're going to talk about that. It redesignates the use of Animate Dead to provide additional bonuses. Harvest Undead, formerly Undead Secrets, has been redesigned to restore hit points from destroying undead creatures, and Death's Master allows you to create bursts of necrotic energy. Okay, so once again, when you pick Necromancy as a subclass, you become the Necromantic Savant. You gain 2 level 2 necromantic spells that you always have prepared, and as you increase your level, you'll be able to pick more necromantic spells. So you'll have more spells in your spellbook. Okay, let's talk about the necromantic spellbook. I feel like this is a good one. Necromancers can do good. Raising Dead is evil, I guess. Okay, you have resistance to necrotic damage. Love it. I think necromancers should have resistance to necrotic damage at level 3. It's always nice to gain a resistance, especially when it's not a major one like fire and lightning and cold. It's more situational, but it's fun. Grim Harvest. When you cast a necromancy spell using a spell slot, you can choose an undead creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself to regain hit points equal to the spell slot. So you'll have access to a little bit of healing. Well, it's not healing, it's regaining hit points in a necrotic fashion, but you're able to basically, heal yourself, and you won't have to rely upon those healing potions or a cleric as much. And Undead Familiar. This sounds like a fun and good change, although I'm sure it would cause some friction within certain parties itself. The fact that you have a pet skeleton or zombie walking around. Has anybody watched Wednesday? Great show on Netflix, I believe it is, or Prime. Not sure, maybe Prime. And so Pugsley had a pet zombie, and well, it did not turn out well. I'm not going to lie, but it was kind of cool that he had a pet zombie. Let's see. At level 6, you get Grave Power. You discover more necromantic insights, inscribe them within your spellbook. While holding a spellbook, you gain the following benefits: Grave Resilience. When you use Arcane Recovery, your exhaustion level, if any, decreases by 1. Wow, that is cool. I think this is the first time I've seen an ability to reduce exhaustion. Uh, Overwhelming necrosis, damage from your wizard spells, and wizard features ignore necrotic resistance. So that's awesome. As a necromancer, you'll be able to throw necrotic spells at undead. Normally, undead might have resistance to necrotic damage simply based on the fact that they're undead. But as a necromancer wizard, you're so skilled in the ways of undeath and the undead that you can actually cause damage to things with necrotic resistance. Undead Thralls. At level 6, you always have the Animate Dead spell prepared. I love any wizard item, spell slot, or rule that lets you always have something prepared. The Savants let you have stuff prepared, and it's just kind of a free slot you don't have to worry about. It's always available. You don't have to be like, oh man, I wish I had prepared that. It's going to be ready for you. You can also increase the effective level by 1. So you basically, it counts as upcasting. If you're casting a level 3, actually counts as level 4. So you might gain some more animations or maybe more hit points on whatever you're casting. Undead Fortitude. The undead hit points and current hit points are increased by the level of spell slots and intelligent modifiers. So you're creating more powerful undead than a normal wizard would because you are a specialist in this area. And Withering Strike. When an undead hits a creature with an attack roll, the undead deals necrotic damage equal to intelligence modifier. That is big. I'll tell you why. Raise Dead might let you raise multiple skeleton zombies. I have to look at the exact number. And just say you had 4 skeletons and they all attack and they all hit. You're adding basically an average of 4 or 5 extra damage just because you are Withering Strike. You are an expert in the undead and you are able to increase their damage. At level 10, Harvest Undead. You've learned more secrets about the nuances of life and death. Immediately after you become bloodied, so that's 25% hit points, but aren't killed outright from taking damage. You can take a reaction, reduce the undead creature under your control to 0 hit points, and gain that number of hit points. So you're basically getting hit, and you're slinging the damage to another creature. Probably kills it, so the necromancer gets hit, and then the undead skeleton next to it just explodes in a pile of dust and bone, where the zombie falls, brains slogging to the floor because you transferred that damage that hit you to something else. All right, so this is my troll, and then if you do enough damage to a troll but don't kill it, its arm will fall off, so we have a couple arms. This troll obviously does not have 4 arms, but I'm going to have to paint up another troll. There's always more than one troll. Okay, let's look at the level 14, Death's Master. The rituals in your spellbook allow mastery over the forces of death. While holding your spellbook, you gain the following benefits. Bolster Undead as a bonus action. Choose any number of undead you have created or summoned with necromancy. Within 60 feet, those undead gain temporary hit points equal to your wizard level, so at least 14. Well, once those undead temporary hit points, you can use it 24 hours. Okay, so you're pumping up the level. You're pumping up the hit points here. Skeletons make them super tough. Other wizards who are summoning skeletons will not have them be as tough. Extinguish Undead. When the undead creature you can see reduces 0 hit points, you can cause them to explode with necrotic energy. Roll d6 equal to half the creature's unexpended hit dice and make a 10-foot explosion of bones and death. It's pretty cool. We have the Transmuter. And I think I'll save the Transmuter for another day. I'm getting coming up on 48 minutes here. So that was our original call to paint kobolds: white, black, red, blue, and green. We tasted the rainbow, as the professor said, Skittles. Worked a little bit on some Vampire Lord and Vampire Lady. I got to paint the skin nice and white. Let's see how the Nun oil is drying for the Pumpkin King. I like it. I have to do his whole body, but I wanted that to sit in there and just kind of set. This is the Pumpkin Golem. We do have an Etsy store. You can get some of these items. If you see anything I ever pick up and you're like, hey, I want that, just send me a message. If it's not available, we'll try to get it to you. And then we have our troll hands. Contrast paint. I missed a spot, but I'll go back to it. I'll take some time off camera to paint. It's a little hard to paint and talk at the same time, but I want to try out this new little tripod I had. I think it's nice and low. I feel like we're able to see the iPad okay. This is the Unearthed Arcana 2025 updates. This is going till September 23rd. If you want to play test and input, you're allowed to, contact them, play test it, and tell them what you think is good and bad. And then eventually this will be playable. This will be canon. As a dungeon master, you are the master of your game. You can always add this in or take pieces of this. And I'm going to do some research on the Ranger and see if we can find a good Ranger subclass that adds maybe some more arcane shots and stuff. I'll leave you with my painted werewolf as a parting shot. This is a cool werewolf miniature. I enjoyed basing and flocking this really more than anything, I gotta say. And that's all contrast paint. That was a quick kind of job. So hope you guys get to play D&D this week. Have a great night, and thank you for watching.